Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As you know, last night Celtic took on Bayern Munich at Celtic Park in the fourth match day of the Champions League quality. No, it's not a group stage. Of course, it's a fucking group stage. We took on Bayern Munich, of course, in match day 4 of the Champions League, where Celtic went into the match. You know, there was something in the air, wasn't there? There was something in the air, and to say the least, an incredibly positive game. No matter the result, put the result behind us. As soon as that group stage was drawn back in August time, when we were drawing PSG, Bayern Munich and Anderlecht, the game that I feared the most was Bayern Munich at Celtic Park. Because of the reasoning that I thought we were going to be absolutely destroyed. I thought Bayern Munich were going to come to Celtic Park and they were going to put 4 or 5 past us. What PSG done basically, but I was expecting it at maybe a higher level. Then we played Bayern Munich a couple of weeks ago at the Allianz. Things looked a little bit better. They only beat us 3-0 and we played a lot better in the second half of that game. So it gave me the confidence going into this game that we could avoid an absolute thrubbing, that we could avoid being embarrassed. And you know what? That was the main objective for me. The main objective for me was not to be embarrassed again and just look positive, look as though we've made improvement and look as though we belong to be playing in the Champions League. And Brendan Rodgers delivered, the team delivered, and last night an incredibly fantastic performance, a performance that I'll always remember for as long as possible, going up against one of the best teams in the world in some of their best form. They've not lost in the past 7 games or so. They've not even dropped points in the past 7 games of football they've played. They have been in terrific form, and the fact that we played them last night at Celtic Park, we held them off, and down to the errors that we'll come into. You know, we could have, and we should have, in my opinion, had a better result from that. Maybe taking a point, maybe even taking the 3 points. It was a game that honestly, something on my hand, that honestly I thought we were brilliant, and I was so happy with how we played. Tactically, we were spot on. It was ambitious. I was here on the radio all the way to the game. Celtic 3 at the back. The kind of way we play against Aberdeen, 3 at the back. Of course, Tierney dropped back to be that 4th man the majority of the game. But you could see that structure. It was very evident for the majority of the game that we had that structure of the 3 central defenders. Lustig, who did go out right, Beaton and Boyata. We played that 3 at the back. We had the midfield and we had the forwards. Some people coming narrow like Sinclair. It seemed spot on, and we held Bayern Munich well. And it was a result that the main thing I want to take away is I'm proud. I'm proud of how Celtic played last night. They've proved everyone wrong who doubts us. Everyone wrong. Arsenal last season, the main point that I think everybody's going to bring up at some point, but I'm going to bring up my video now, because I guarantee there's someone who wants to go down there, leave hate anyway because we're beaten, who supports something like Bristol or Leeds or something like that. Well, guess what? Arsenal last year got beat 5-1 twice off of Bayern Munich. 2 legs they only beat us 5-1. And one of them arguably we deserved to win. Arguably. We had a fantastic performance last night. If we were a bit more clinical, we were a bit more dangerous with our attacks, and we took the chances that we did make, it could have been a very different game. And of course that would have changed the way Bayern played. Maybe if we did score very early on with that chance Armstrong had, maybe Bayern would have altered the game completely, played a different way and went out and scored another goal. And it could have still been a result to Bayern. But if you take the game away it was, and we just altered a couple of things and missed out some things and changed some things around, it was a game that Celtic could easily have got a very positive result of last night. And it was a positive result in my eyes. A 2-1 defeat to arguably one of the top 3 best clubs in the world. I'm not embarrassed at all. I do not feel embarrassed. I do not feel ashamed. Of course, the disappointment is there because I knew we could have got something better. It was one of those performances where you go into the game, you would be happy before the game getting told you're going to lose, but not by much. But then after the game, yeah, we could have won that. Obviously, I feel that way, but by no means am I ashamed. If anything, I am proud, and I'm very proud of how the team played last night. Fantastic performance. It didn't seem like there was a foot out of place, apart from on the first goal. One moment of stupidity really did cost us a lot in that game. Who knows, we could have went up 1-0 in that game if we held Bayern even more to 0-0. The goal helped Celtic in a sense, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but obviously it completely changed a lot. It was a moment of stupidity after playing so well up until that point, and I'll come on to why I think it helped us in a moment. Obviously, you don't want to concede, but I'll talk about that. But a moment of stupidity between the Boyata and the keeper, Craig Gordon. There's got to be better communication there. And I think a lot of people are out there slating Gordon, but honestly, in my opinion, that's more of Boyata's fault. You do not wait for the ball to come down like that. And Gordon's got to communicate with Boyata. Boyata's got to communicate back, and they've got to sort out what's happening. But Boyata shouldn't be letting that come down the bounce the way it did. It was an error from both of them. You could say it's 50-50, but I feel like Craig Gordon is getting a lot of hate for it. And yeah, he made a big mistake. But Boyata was arguably just as bad, and I've not seen as much slaughter into him in that situation. So, you know, it's kind of a 50-50 split scenario, I'd say. If I was to place more blame on anyone, though, it's definitely going towards Boyata. I'm not going to criticise it too much. It was a moment of stupidity. And it was something, obviously, we don't want to see happening, shouldn't be happening. But let's dwell on the overall performance more. We shouldn't have went 1-0 down the manner we did, though. It was disappointing to see it like that. But the way I think it changed the game for us and helped in our favour, Bayern took a very conservative approach to the game afterwards from that point, and really did let Celtic get into it, find some rhythm and find some momentum. Because one thing that annoyed me was when half-time came around, because we were building so much momentum, and we were looking very sharp, very good, we were getting forward, and it annoyed me when half-time came, because I was thinking, our momentum's just been stopped like that, and I feel like the second half, Bayern are going to come out and be the better team. But no, we continued it in the second half. Bayern almost let Celtic find the comfortable side of their game again after going down, which usually would be incredibly difficult for us. You see what PSG done, they scored 3 in the first half, whereas Bayern changed the way they played, they sat back a little bit more, and they let Celtic get comfortable, which ultimately allowed us to go and get our goal later on in the game. What a moment we had. And it just shows the change in players Brendan Rodgers has made. He has single-handedly not just changed Celtic Football Club, but Scottish football in general. Single-handedly, Brendan Rodgers has came and fixed everything that was up with players like Cal McGregor. This time last year, he was getting pelters for missing a brilliant opportunity in Mönchengladbach, and people were calling for him to be sold. Last night, he scored a goal into Bayern Munich, which could have very nearly got us a draw from them. And it wasn't just a goal, his overall performance was fantastic. We'll come on to individuals in a minute, but the things that have just changed since Brendan Rodgers come in, and this performance means so much in a way that shows us how much has changed at Celtic Football Club, how much Brendan Rodgers has changed. It is massive. Absolutely massive. And last night, players like McGregor really showing the difference that a quality manager makes to a football team. But we made it 1-0, and then the funny feeling was in there. I turned around, my pals turned around at me and they said the same thing. You can see Bayern scoring here, and what happened? Up they went, and fair enough. I'm more decent goal to concede than the first one, but at the same time still frustrating that we couldn't hold on. And it's annoying because these big Champions League games like Man City last year, we just couldn't hold a position. We went up 4 times over the space of 2 games against Man City, and all of those games we basically were level again after 10 minutes. And it only took Bayern 3 minutes last night. Complacency at the back, but overall, honestly, I cannot critique the team at all in a bad way, because last night I was incredibly proud and incredibly happy of how the team played, and you couldn't ask for much more. Majority of the players giving 110% when they're out in the field. Individual performances, honestly, the only player who stood out for me as having a bad game was Scott Sinclair. He never seemed like he got into it at all. But everybody else was spot on for me. There was nothing. Obviously, the couple of moments of errors from Gordon and Boyata. If you take those away, the rest of their games I thought was solid. Gordon made a big save at a point as well. So overall, the team was fantastic, and I'm just incredibly happy with how we played. And it shows you the step forward Celtic are taking. And what happens now? Do we go to Europa League, and do we charge for this final in Lyon at the end of the year? Do we go to the Europa League final? Obviously, Champions League is off the table now. It's what we expected. Let's be honest. We weren't going to get to the last 16, and if you think we did, I'm not going to go out and slag you, but there was no chance. Bayern Munich and PSG are just worlds apart from Celtic. It was not going to happen, but what was going to happen and what we did want to happen was us getting to Europa League, and it's not confirmed yet, but if we do get to this Europa League last 32, how far can we go? Because we have made some progression, and it has been shown even in the space of the past few months, the way we changed from playing PSG to Bayern Munich. I don't care if Bayern Munich have Lewandowski and Müller injured. That team is still sensational, and the way we played against them last night, it doesn't matter what players they had to part, because it was still a world-class 11 we took on, and we held to a fight, and really I think we surprised a lot of people, especially those ones who want to say we play in a pub league and we're a pub league team and all this and all that stuff. Do you know what? Up you all. That's what I'm saying. Let me know your thoughts of the game last night. I'm very happy with how it went, as you know, as you can fucking tell from watching this. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you all. Quick note before we end, actually. I just wanted to add this in, because this is something I didn't really speak about in the video. I just want to talk about Kieran Tierney, Stuart Armstrong, James Forrest, Scott Brown, all these Scottish players who played phenomenally. Is that a word? Is that? I don't know. Last night. Brilliantly. We'll stick with that. Kieran Tierney, 6 years. Let's hope he stays the 6. Honestly, I don't care what anybody else tells me. He would walk into a Premier League team right now, and there's this rumoured 30 million release clause or something on his contract. If it's 30 million, we are being scammed if anyone wants to trigger that. He is not worth 50 million quid, but going by modern football money, if we lose him for any less than 40, 50 million pounds, I feel like we will be incredibly hard done by. I'm not saying he's worth 50 million pounds. Kyle Walker is not worth 50 million pounds, but he went for 50 million pounds. And I'll tell you, Kieran Tierney on that left-hand side, phenomenal left-back. Not the best in Britain, I'm not claiming that, but he's not a kick in the arse off it, as I said last night on Twitter. Just a fantastic performance. Armstrong, all these other Scottish players. Honestly, Brendan Rodgers getting the best out of them, and he's not just helping the club, he's helping the country as well with developing these players, and I'm so happy with how they played last night as well. So I just wanted to add that quick point, as I feel like it was a real... And McGregor, I'm forgetting McGregor, of course. The future of our country is bright. That's all I want to say.